Hello, and welcome to the Mission Report with Chris Dush. Today, I've got a guest who has been involved with something that I am very, very excited about. Most of the people who watch this podcast are aware of my involvement with the sexual exploitation or anti-human trafficking. And we've got a great tool that has just come online. And I have 𝐀𝐧𝐭𝐢 here with me. She's with the National Center on Sexual Exploitation and 𝐏𝐬𝐳. And they have developed a tool for parents. There are so many parents out there that are wondering every day, how do I protect my child? And we're going to get into this new program and stuff, but just so that people get an idea, Lane, of where you're coming from, how you got involved with this. I'd like to get you to give a little bit of background on yourself and what the center's on. I had Marcel on here about 1.5 years ago,
Okay.
but let's hear a little bit about you.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thanks for having me, Senator. My name's 𝐀𝐧𝐭𝐢. I'm the director of the Parent Center at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation. And I've been with 𝐀𝐫𝐳 for about 2.5 years now. I first became interested in this field when I was living in Moscow, Russia. I lived there for about 1.5 years, and I became friends with a few women who were formerly prostituted. And my eyes were just opened to this world of exploitation. And before then, it had just kind of seemed like this faraway idea. But forming personal relationships with these women, it became very serious and something that I wanted to do something about. There's that quote, I think it was Glennon Doyle who said it. She talked about how the thing that breaks your heart is the very thing you were born to help heal. And that kind of stuck with me when I met those women and my heart was broken. I wanted to come home and change that. So when I did my university studies, I focused on social impact, nonprofit work, anything I could find to deal with this issue. And of course, came across the National Center on Sexual Exploitation and took an internship position and then a job with them. And I've been working with them ever since. I was specifically drawn to them because of their focus on anti-exploitation work, but also their preventative focus, preventing harm before it occurs. I think
Yes.
that so much harm can be avoided when we take action. And specifically in the realm of parents and parenting and helping keep children safe online, that's why I've become so involved with this parent center, because we can avoid that harm when parents are informed and equipped early and feel confident in how to deal with the scary things on the internet that their children are facing. So that's kind of how I came to 𝐀𝐫𝐳 and became involved with the Parent Center, and I've loved learning and working with Marcel. He's an amazing leader and strategic thinker, and been great to work under him.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked that question because one of the things that got me involved with this, my wife Tracy and I were in Rehoboth, Delaware, years ago. I was working for the Department of Corrections, I think, at the time. We were down on vacation, and there was an Eastern European girl that we were talking with who was working at a bodega. But when we walked away, just the conversation and her demeanor. I worked in the Department of Corrections and other law enforcement stuff along the way. I walked away and I told my wife, I said, this girl's being trafficked.
Mhm.
And I don't know what to do about it. And look, I'm a guy. I'm a problem solver. I want to fix things.
Right, right.
And I've also got a heart for people who are, find themselves in helpless situations. But I want to get this program that you guys have developed. Parents are looking for resources. Sometimes they feel like they don't really want to open up that can of worms, but then on the other hand, they're caught with, all right, I know this stuff is going on, and I want to protect my child. What what motivated you guys to create this? And Jill Giggle, I know, was involved with that. Can you go into a little bit about how this came about?
Yes. So this has been about 4 years in the works. Jill Geigel started
Geiger.
by talking to parents. We had a lot of parents coming to the parent center and asking, or to 𝐀𝐧𝐭𝐢, excuse me, and asking questions like, what do I do in this situation? This happened to my child. And 𝐀𝐀𝐭𝐢 was trying their best to help parents situation by situation, one by one. But there were just so many. We realized there is a big need here and we need to do something about it. And so we didn't start with building technology. We started by talking to the parents to figure out exactly what would help them. And Jill Geigel led a lot of those focus groups around the country. She sat down with parents. She asked the hard questions. What are you going through? What are you seeing? What are your children dealing with? And what do you need? Like, what would solve this problem for you? And the thing that kept coming up for parents is that they were overwhelmed and didn't know what to do. And just, it all just was too much that they almost just wanted to just back away from it all. And Jill talks about one man who she feels put it the very best. He said, I just wish there was a big red button I could push that I pushed it. And then I just got exactly what I needed for my specific situation. And we talked about that for a long time. What is this button going to be? Is it going to be a survey? Is it going to be a way that we contact parents? And ultimately, we decided that it needed to be an AI tool because it would help give parents information and answers quickly, and it could give them personalized information. We knew we would have to be very careful in how we built this, that it could only draw from a very specific set of resources that we gave it, but we felt that this was the fastest way to get parents to the amazing resources that are out there. Because there are, being at 𝐀𝐾OSI, you are partnered with so many organizations. There's such incredible resources for parents, but we're dealing with a population of people, a group of people who they don't have time to go spend 4 hours searching the internet for the perfect resource for their child in a very specific time. They need to help their child right then. And so that's why we decided to build an AI tool because it could pull from all these great resources that we had and help the parent directly.
And just for the parents' comfort, look, we're very particular about with whom we partner, and I know 𝐀𝐾OSI is Marcel is yeah, he's very centered on that because we've been working in this for any kind of length of time. You know, there are people that some have good intentions, but are just jump in way over their head too quickly. But then there are
Right.
also actors that really don't have the best interest of the children in mind. Do you want to go into how you guys screened for the sources for the AI?
Yes. Yes. So as I mentioned before, the only things that the AI can pull from are expert-backed resources that 𝐀𝐾OSI is partnered with. So normal AI tools out there just pull from the general internet. They scrape the general internet to give you your answers, so you never know exactly where this information is coming from. And one of the problems we found here is if parents were asking questions about how to protect their children online, what to do about certain situations, if they're just asking a normal tool that, they were being fed incorrect information, a lot of times very harmful information, or the tool itself would say, sorry, that's not something that we deal with. If they brought up, my child's being sextorted, or I think that my child might be being groomed, the tool would either lead them off course or tell them, sorry, that's not something we can help with. But these parents need actual help. So our tool, we met with different organizations that 𝐀𝐾OSI's partnered with. We talked to them, and we brought their resources onto our tool. So it's a closed resource tool. So it can only pull from the resources that we've given it. And that's resources such as Protect Young Eyes, Thorn, these different organizations that specialize in guidelines for parents, giving rundowns of apps, TV shows, movies, things like that. Um, and our developers built with safety in mind, and we've cybersecurity experts, so many testers on this tool, hence the 4 years. Um, we knew we had to make this very, very, very safe.
Yeah, I actually saw even like there are a number of organizations like Movie Guide just had an article. I think that's the website I saw an article on that they're covering it. And I think people are waking up to the fact that this is such a huge problem, but those resources that you're accessing, there's going to be an element of people out there that are going to try and harm what you're doing. What's the security? How's the security? What kind of security do you have for protecting both the AI as well as the parents and those
Yes.
who are coming on?
Yes. So the way that it's been built is it's built on a secure browser, so it can't be infiltrated, and each interaction with the tool is separate. So um, what information I'm going back and forth with on the tool can't affect the results of what someone else is getting when they go back and forth with the tool. So it's interaction by interaction, which keeps it very safe. And then in addition to that, we've had lots of cybersecurity experts going in trying to just break the tool for weeks on end. And we've gone through lots of training exercises there that it's very safe. So just interaction by interaction is one of the biggest safety parameters. And then it's built, the audience is caregivers, parents, grandparents, those taking care of kids. There's no emotional connection built into our tool. So that's one of the problems we're seeing out there with current AI tools and AI companions.
Yes.
Yes, which 𝐀𝐧𝐭𝐢 obviously is very against. And so when building our own AI tool, we had to be very cautious of this. So there's no emotional connection there. The audience is caregivers, not children, and it's just information. And it gives a brief answer to what you ask, and then it links out to resources that can get into more details. So it's very much a one-stop shop for parents. We're not using this as a way to say 𝐀𝐀𝐧𝐭𝐢 has all the answers, but we know who does have the answers, and
Right.
we're going to point you to them.
That's one of the biggest things. The parents can waste a lot of time trying to go through what is a credible resource, and they're working and doing other things. Their days are pretty full, and then they're
Yeah.
coming home, and the children can uh, actually, this brings up something else. You've got three pillars that you've built this on,
hmm
and do you want to go over those briefly and just explain how those pillars, what those pillars are, and why you've incorporated them? Because I think that will help inform and comfort parents to actually come to the site.
Yes. Yes. So we've built the tool around three pillars: prevention, crisis response, and advocacy. So prevention is helping parents know what to do in their home and on their child's device to protect their children before harm occurs. That's everything from answering questions around screen time limits, knowing how to specifically step by step set up filters on Snapchat, like everything that you need to know as a parent to prevent harm from happening. A lot of this is conversation guidelines. A lot of parents we've seen the tool are asking questions. How do I talk to my 11-year-old about pornography? Or when do I start bringing up the idea of grooming to my child? When's too early? I don't want to hurt their innocence, but I don't want to live in ignorance. And and these are the kind of questions parents are asking. So the prevention part of our tool seeks to help those parents, those kind of questions. The crisis part of our tool is to help parents when harm has already occurred. So this is exactly how a parent could come in, ask a question: how do I take down a photo that was posted of my daughter online? And the tool will provide step-by-step guidance. It will provide phone numbers to call. It will get you to NCMEC, in contact with NCMEC if you need. It's helping parents know what to do, because a lot of times in those situations you freeze and you don't know what to do next. So a quick question to the AI tool can give you easy support. And then the last part is advocacy. We at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation have realized the power of parents when they come together to put accountability on tech platforms to make big changes to protect children. Nkosi spends a lot of time on Capitol Hill, as I'm sure you're aware, Senator. And we've talked to lots of government officials, and a lot of times what we hear is this is also interesting to hear about the harms and what's happening to children and the stress put on parents. But if this is all true, where are the parents? Like we need to
Right.
hear from the parents. And which is a fair question, but my answer to that would be the parents are at home trying to protect their children. They're very like a very busy population, as you mentioned, and they're trying to set screen time limits and have the right conversations and know what to do. Um, and they're hard to reach population in that way. But we want to make it easy for parents to get together to put their voice into one and to take that to these tech platforms, Capitol Hill, to show these are changes that need to happen and parents are wanting this.
And quite honestly, I think parents need to bookmark this because they could go from doing prevention to something that, and then in a moment, something they perhaps hadn't thought to ask about. The child comes up and you've got a crisis situation on your hand.
Right.
Bookmarking that on their page while they've got kids at home, or even me as a grandparent,
Yeah,
it's going to be something that when my browser comes up, I got that tab up there at the top, or that
totally.
bookmark
Yes.
that I can get to. It's sad that we're living in this kind of a situation, but everything about electronics. My grandparents, and I knew three of my great grandparents born in the 1800s, and they went from the horse and buggy age to watching man walk on the moon, and what's happened just in our just a couple generations lifetime.
Right. Right. You can't imagine it until it's unfolding around you. And I think we're in an important spot right now because we've learned from the age of the internet. We've learned from um what has and hasn't happened to protect us online, and now with AI coming into the picture and AI companions, things like that, it's important that parents stay at the front lines of knowing what to do and how to support their kids.
You know, let's go to how important the collaboration has been, because, like you said, none of us have all the answers, and
Right.
even within this space, there are people who deal with certain elements of exploitation, certain elements of human trafficking. There's no one source. We've got a bipartisan and bicameral legislative caucus in Pennsylvania now that we're going around the Commonwealth and doing 10 different regions.
Mm.
And the disparity between the regions, both in access to resources and that sort of thing, is something that is really stepped out, and it's something that we're going to have to address. But having trusted resources and the collaboration, can you talk a little bit about how both the center and the parent center and the 𝐏𝐬𝐤𝐢𝐧𝐠 select who they're partnering with?
Hmm. Yes. So Nkosi has always been a big believer in partnerships and in collaboration. We have big summits every few years where we bring in all of our partners and we talk about these issues and we learn from each other. So it was important to us that we brought this over to the Parent Center as well. The way that we've screened is a lot of time spent in the websites and information that these partners have shared with us, and through talking with the partners a lot of meetings. And a lot of these partnerships have been years and years in the making that have started before I was at Nkosi, before Marcel was at Nkosi. These are organizations that we deeply, deeply trust. And we're very limited right now. We've got about 16 organizations that we've partnered with, and we're very open to increasing that. But we are very specific about making sure that the everything that these organizations promote is safe and helpful for parents and for children. And we're so excited to grow those partnerships, but we recognize that 𝐀𝐭CE doesn't have all the answers that, but we want to get parents to the answers. And so that's why we've done these partnerships. Everything from if someone asks a question about, child sexual abuse, we know, oh, we can point them to this org, or a specific about conversation guidelines. That's the strength of another org. And through our time in this work, you learn about these orgs, and we're excited to point more parents to them because they're great.
Yes. And it's nice that we are getting people who are both, or organizations and people, specifically the people who run them and that sort of thing, who are very specific about who they're bringing on board with them.
Right.
And that is so critical in this, because we don't want to create new victims. And
Right.
we know that the predators are looking for a target-rich environment. And if I'm sure they're going to try and penetrate the veil of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things, when a parent comes online with you folks, they're do they have to give any personal information to you, to the parent center?
No, we wanted to make this as simple and easy to access for parents as possible. So they can just go to parentcenter.org, and they're just living on that website is a chat box that they can just submit their question into. And they can ask in any language. They can, whatever makes sense to them. They don't have to ask in tech language. They don't have to like really understand the issue and ask it right. They can just ask a question and they'll be just given an answer. If they want to sign up, they can, at the very bottom, they can put in their personal information to be fed a newsletter every month that gives them more tips and tricks and information on safety and prevention and things like that for their children. But just to use the AI tool, no, they don't have to give any personal information. It's just there for their use. We want as many people to access it and benefit from it as possible.
I take it there's not a link between the AI tool and the registration. I mean, if they're signing up for emails and that sort of thing, is there any? That's separate.
Yeah, separate.
So you don't need any disclaimers or anything like that on there, or
We
do you
do.
have
We
disclaimers?
we do have disclaimers because this is not to replace counseling. This tool isn't. It's not to replace parenting in general, um, things like that. But I mean, those still things need to exist. This is just to help, a helpful tool, and it is AI, so that's important to remember too. Like there can be a grammatical mistake here and there, things that just happen. So we do have disclaimers regarding those sort of things, but yeah, no personal information.
Okay. What kind of questions would you, I know you touched on one or two, but what are some of the other
Yeah.
questions a parent can ask?
Honestly, anything related to keeping their children safe online, things about social media safety, pornography exposure, sextortion, online predators, specific questions about gaming platforms and what is safe and what is not safe, cyberbullying situations, screen time, device boundaries, anything about online trends or apps, difficult conversations to have with a child regarding these topics. The tool can help with all of that.
Yeah, having access to all those different sources that you've partnered with, I imagine
Hmm.
that AI tool is going to have the ability to be pretty up to date on trends.
Yes, yes, very much so. And the neat thing about this tool, and another reason why we chose to build an AI tool, is that as more parents ask it questions, the tool gets better at responding.
Yes.
Which is it's interesting that way. It's already since we launched it improved exponentially, and it's just going to keep improving. So it's one of those things where it sounds negative to say this off the bat, but right now it's the worst it will ever be. It's a very safe and it's a really
Yeah.
good tool, but it's comforting to know as it reaches more parents, it's just going to get better and better and better and more helpful. So we look forward to that.
Great. Um, are you guys on any social media?
We're on Instagram and Facebook. Parent_center is our handle. So you can find us there. And that's just helping raise awareness of the tool and um, yeah, getting it to more parents. So happy to have you follow us on there.
Are there any other ways that parents can get a hold of the Parent Center?
Parentcenter.org and the social media handles are the best way to access it. Yeah.
And one question that I have a list here, but down at the end here, what are some of the questions that you're receiving already? You've got about 1,300 parents have access to so
Yeah.
far. Uh,
That's been very interesting to see. And we're looking forward to seeing more and more trends there. I think that'll help us inform our policy work, our legal action that we take at 𝐀𝐫𝐿, as well as our corporate advocacy work. So it's great to see how this tool is going to benefit our organization and the world at large. But specifically, what we've already seen is a lot of questions about gaming and gaming safety and pornography exposure, and then how to deal with certain AI tools and apps there. Those are some that we're already seeing a lot of questions come in about those.
okay. Well, Lane, I really, truly appreciate your time today and everything that you and the whole team that have been doing. And I I will tell you, parents that I speak with, they've been starving for something like this for quite a while. Jill Giggle hit the mark whenever she was going around doing this
Yeah.
or she was asking the right questions because they're the same kind of questions, the same kind of comments that I get going around my district and around the state from parents. And I've got two sons that are
Mm.
raising little ones now, and they've got similar questions. And
Yeah.
my siblings and their progeny are everybody's concerned. So
Yes. Yes.
this is the right tool at the right time, and I'm very grateful to all. Please pass my thanks and my team's thanks. I've got a great team here working with me for what you're doing, and our door and the phone's always available. So
Thank you.
uh,
That means a lot. We're very grateful for your support. It's people like you that could really make a difference from your end as well. So it's great to work with people like you.
well, thank you. Well, God bless, and that's it for the mission report. And ladies and gentlemen, I will have the information on how to get a hold of 𝐀𝐽𝐢 as well as the Parent Center linked at the bottom of this podcast. And God bless you, and I hope you all have a great day.